This is Julius Caesar with Post-it notes. Yeah. Oh. Oops. Okay, so before I start with the play, I'm going to give you a really quick rundown on the ancient Roman Republic. Notice that I said republic and not empire, which is what you hear of most often, and that is a vacuum. I hope you can't hear that. Okay, so you can't hear that, so I'm just going to keep going. At the very top, there were two consuls. They were like co-prime ministers. They did not have all of the power, which is something that you have to remember because it leads into the power struggles that are displayed all throughout the play. And they had all of the military command, which is important because Romans prided themselves on their very successful military and on honor and justice. Now, when we start off with the play, we have the two consuls, Caesar and Pompey. Now, Caesar and Pompey didn't get along with each other. In fact, they were in a civil war. So, when we start off with the play, Pompey is dead. Now, let's talk about the senators. There were 600 plus senators. Ooh, the vacuum got a lot closer. Again, I hope you can't hear that. Okay, you can't really hear that, so I'm just going to keep going. There were 600 plus senators, and they were made up of all of the plebeians and the patricians, or partisans. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. But the plebeians were the poor people, and the patricians, or those ones were the rich ones. And it was really only the rich ones that had the power, and of course they were only guys because women were treated like incubators. Actually, they were treated worse than incubators because we would treat incubators a lot better than they treated women. But anyway, even though the Senate was very influential, it could not pass any laws. It only advised the consuls. And the place where they passed all the laws was the Centuriate Assembly. And that was basically a big old meeting where everyone in Rome got together and they all just voted on stuff. See, Rome was a really good democracy, unless you were a woman or a slave. And now that we are freed from the tyranny of the vacuum, I will introduce you to all the other noblemen. Most of them were tribunes. I mean, there were other kinds, like praetors and quaestors, but I think tribunes are the only ones that are relevant to the play. If not, I'll tell you later on in the later acts. And tribunes were basically representatives. There are several different kinds, and the rank of the tribune depended on what he was a tribune of. So there was a tribune of the people, which is basically a plebeian representing a plebeian, which I remind you means a poor person representing poor people. And then there were tribunes of different cohorts in the military and etc. Okay, so now we have all that out of the way. Let's start. Act 1, Scene 1. This scene takes place right after Caesar's victory over Pompey, and also right before / during, kind of hazy there, the Feast of Lupercal. And that feast was a really, really fun time. It was all about fertility, and it may or may not have been the origins of Valentine's Day. It involved a naked foot race, whipping women with goat skins just drenched in goat's blood, and sex and stuff. So, you know, all in all, fun times. So there are these plebeians on the streets of Rome, partying, yeah, because it's the Feast of Lupercal, and Caesar won the Civil War, and everything's just so wonderful. And then there's these two tribunes, these two meanies that come along, and they're all, hey, get back to work, and take the decorations off of Caesar's statues. We can't let his ego get any bigger than it already is. Blah, 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 blah. I'm a party pooper. And that's Act 1, Scene 1, / a bit of intro into ancient Roman Republic-ness. So, ta-da! Act 1, oopsies. Act 1, Scene 2 is going to be up soon, once I write a script for that. That's pretty sad that this was scripted. Oh well. Yep, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them, but bear in mind that I'm getting all of my information from my teacher, from Wikipedia, from Lit Charts, and Spark Notes. I can leave links to those, not links to my teacher, but links to stuff down in the doobly-doo if you want to know stuff. And yeah, see you later.